The smell wasn't there. Not for humans anyway. Graham Whitlock had worked as a home inspector for 8 years, which meant he considered himself unusually alert to the small warning signs most homeowners walked right past. So when Duchess, their 4-year-old boxer, planted herself directly in the doorway to the garage one Tuesday morning and refused to move, he assumed it was simply one of her odd moods. He nudged her aside gently with his knee. She came right back, sitting stiffly upright, staring at the closed door to the garage, with an intensity he hadn't seen from her before. His daughter Wren, 7 years old, tried to walk past to grab her bike. Duchess blocked her path bodily, not aggressively, just immovably, until Wren gave up and went back inside. "She's probably smelling a mouse in there," Graham told his wife that evening. Half joking, it was the kind of explanation that let everyone move on without thinking too hard about it. He'd inspected hundreds of homes and knew exactly what mouse activity looked like. This didn't quite fit that pattern, but it was close enough to file away and forget. The next morning, Duchess was back in the same spot, more insistent than before, pressing her whole body against the door when Graham tried to open it, refusing every command to sit or move, whining low in her throat, in a way she'd never done in 4 years. Graham's professional instincts, trained on visible signs of structural damage and moisture staining, told him there was nothing obviously wrong. He could see the garage clearly through the small window. Nothing looked out of place. By the second afternoon, his wife had started to wonder aloud if Duchess needed a vet visit for anxiety. Graham privately agreed and had nearly scheduled the appointment when a neighbor mentioned in passing that the gas company had been out on their street the day before responding to a reported smell. 2 doors down, something about the timing made Graham pause. He went back out to the garage, this time paying attention not to what he could see, but to what a home inspector rarely thought to check without instrumentation. He ran his hand slowly along the gas line connection to the water heater tucked in the corner, and felt a faint cool draft where there shouldn't have been one. The gas company's technician confirmed it within the hour. A small, slow leak at a corroded fitting. Low concentration enough that it hadn't yet triggered any detectable odor for a human nose, but present and building. Natural gas is odorless on its own, the technician told him. The smell added to it for humans is a trace chemical, and it takes a certain concentration to register. Dogs can detect the raw compounds and the corrosion byproducts well before that threshold is reached. She wasn't picking up a mouse. She was picking up exactly what we just found. If you stay for stories about what animals sense before we do, you're exactly where you should be. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Graham thought about those 2 days differently afterward. Duchess planted in the doorway. Not a mood, a barrier she'd built on purpose. The whining low in her throat, not anxiety, an alarm with nowhere else to go. 8 years of inspecting other people's homes for visible damage had taught him nothing about the invisible kind building quietly in his own garage, and it took his dog, refusing to be moved, to catch it. Has your dog ever refused to enter a room in your home for reasons that made no sense, until they suddenly did? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. The fitting was replaced within the day. Duchess walked back into that garage calmly the following morning. Tail relaxed, no hesitation at all. Exactly the dog she'd always been before the 2 days she wouldn't be moved. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. The next story on this channel is about a dark-coated guard dog who wouldn't stop pressing his face to a crying baby, and what her parents almost did before they understood why.